Back on TYT Sports, time for our best and worst of the NFL, our Turks and Jerks. My guest today, we've been guestless for about 2 weeks because Ben Mank sucks. And I get to say that because he just can't show up for Turks and Jerks anymore. Regardless, Chris Houck, also known as the fantasy football champion of TYT Sports. And not just TYT. For a week, right?
For a week.
What happened in your campaign defense?
Do you want to know? Do we want to go into this?
We can go into it for a little bit here, just curious.
So, I won the first year, did fantastic, loved it, won the belt, and which I kept on my desk, and that was a lot of fun. It was a constant reminder that I'm the best at TYT. And then we had the draft this year, and the commissioner had the wise idea to add 2 additional teams. So instead of a 12-team league, it was a 14-team league. I never played in that. I'm making excuses.
Yeah, right. So at least you understand that, though.
Right. Yeah.
Very self-aware.
But then, during the draft, my first-round pick was Keenan Allen.
Your first-round pick was Keenan Allen?
Yes. I drafted.
Everything broke on him in week 1.
I drafted 13th out of 14th. So Keenan Allen swung back around, and I got Jamal Charles, who played maybe 5 snaps all year, maybe. Third round was Eric Decker. Fourth round was Latavius Murray.
That's a good pick.
So that's something.
That was a good pick.
And then 5th, I think, was Big Ben. But yeah, most of my top draft picks were hurt and hardly played.
Big Ben makes sense because you are kind of a Steelers fan.
I'm a little bit of a Steelers fan.
Brought his terrible title with him. Look at this. They bring it from also, by the way, like, those who don't know, TYT has is that an HQ, as we call it? What do we call it? In
the boiler room.
The boiler room in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Where we have a solid amount of people there now, right?
We have 3 full-timers, and we have 1 part-timer as well.
Are they all Steelers fans?
No.
Is it like part of the job description?
No. I'm the only one who's actually from Pittsburgh, which is strange.
Just a Giants fan, 10-4, probably winning the Super Bowl, but no big deal about that.
No big deal. If the Patriots make it, you definitely will.
That's all I'm hoping for, man. Is give me a round 3 so I get to watch the New England fans squirm. Sorry, Jacory. I'm sorry. Please don't mess up the clip now. Our director is a diehard Boston sports fan, but he still hearts us. All right, so into our best and worst. So if you want to start, I know you're going to choose a Steelers guy, as you should.
Yeah. So wait, do I do the worst?
You can do your best first or your worst first.
Okay.
You like.
Let's do best.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Chris Boswell from the Steelers because he kicked 6 field goals, which is a franchise high. 3 of them were for 49 yards, and only 1 of them was under 40 yards.
Yes.
So that was huge, and not only that, he made a touchdown-saving tackle during a kick return that probably saved the game for the Steelers.
Here's what I'm amazed by about Chris Boswell. There was 2 things that have been happening this season in general and historically. Well, this season kickers have sucked for the most part. If you're not named Justin Tucker and you're not named, even guys like Chris Boswell have been fine, but every kicker's been cut. We have had a lot of focus on Robert Aguayo, the 2nd-round pick for the Bucs. It's a 2nd-round pick, man.
2nd-round pick?
It's a 2nd-round pick. As a kicker, if you can't kick an 80-yard field goal, you shouldn't be drafted. I'm being honest. I know it sounds ridiculous, like I waste a 7th-round pick. You can sign any kicker from anywhere.
When was Janikowski picked?
Janikowski was 1st overall.
He was first overall?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine though?
Oh, sorry,
awesome.
Edwin.
That would be so awesome. If
sorry.
Janikowski was the 1st overall pick, that would be amazing. No, but like you look at it and you go, kickers have been so unreliable this year. But what's even more of a narrative is Marvin Lewis just completely botching a Bengals game. And the Steelers, and he didn't do necessarily a terrible job in yesterday's game coaching it. But the Steelers, being who they are, will always be in games. And as long as you have Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, who they game planned for pretty well. They contained Le'Veon Bell, who was going off the week before in a snowstorm for 5,000 yards rushing and 38 touchdowns. No, he had 236 yards on the ground, I think, and 3 touchdowns. But you have to take into account guys like Antonio Brown, who make defensive game plans a nightmare. He's going to get his hands on the ball. He's going to make catches. And Ben Roethlisberger looks obviously like the Super Bowl winning quarterback like he is. And like we've said on this platform time and time again, you don't want to face the Steelers in the playoffs. Even if they were 8-8 going into the playoffs. If they were 7-9 and were sneaking, you don't want to face that team. They are good on the road. They are good at home.
Yeah.
And they have the experience and coaching to get them there.
Quick question. Do you think Marvin Lewis is back next year?
I don't think he should be back. I think he will be, but I don't think he should be because I think they're going to put he's going to get a little bit of a scapegoat with, our number one player in A.J. Green went down.
Yeah.
Tough to come, but Tyler Eifert's been pretty fantastic throughout the season. So, Brandon LaFell. Does anybody remember Brandon LaFell and the best meme ever?
He had no.
There was a meme, Brandon LaFell, when he was playing on the Patriots, and they go, let's take a look at Brandon LaFell's day, and it's just a guy in the backyard throwing balls at trash cans. Because he's garbage. Now, he's been actually fine for the Bengals stepping up.
He had a big game yesterday,
I
think.
He did.
Yeah.
I'm just making fun of him for the sake of it. All right, your worst of the weekend.
I'm going to go with Vontaze Burfict.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
It's the worst of the It's like a jerk of the year every year.
Yeah, because he is what in Pittsburgh we like to call a jag-off. And he's out to hurt people.
Yeah.
And it's unacceptable. And I don't know. I know he gets suspended pretty frequently, but I honestly don't know why he's still in the league because he's a bad guy. But he knocked himself out of the game. He went helmet to helmet on one of our guards, David DeCastro, and knocked himself out of the game, went into concussion protocol. He came back for the second half, but like, how do you do that?
And that's like instant karma.
Yeah, no, it is.
Like you're going you're going for a targeting hit. And it's you can say that about Vontaze Burfict because it always seems like he's going for targeting. He's that type of guy. What's amazing about it is, why is it that a lot of the time, some of the best players are the dirtiest players? Like Ndamukong Suh hasn't been nearly what he was on the Lions, but he also got a massive deal. And Vontaze Burfict is a tremendously talented defensive player.
Yeah, he is.
One of the best in the league, but he just does the most boneheaded.
And if he was on my team, I would probably have his back. I'm going to be honest, but he isn't, and he's a jag-off.
And he's a jag-off.
Can I add another?
Yeah, of course.
Jeremy Hill, and I'll tell you why.
Did he ruin your fantasy day?
No.
Okay.
No.
For some, he did.
No, it's what he did. It's what he did to the towel. So
he ripped up.
He tried to. He scored his second, the Bengals' second touchdown, 4-yard run, and he grabbed a towel from the stands, tried to rip it up, and then threw it to the ground. Okay, that's bad karma, Jeremy, and you should know better. Okay.
You're just like wagging your finger like you're not doing
in
this.
2005, TJ Houshmandzadeh took the towel, and in the tunnel he tried polishing his shoes with it, and then he like pretended to twirl it. Another jag-off. So then the next time we played them, we beat them at home, and then we went on to win the Super Bowl, and that's what happened. So Jeremy Hill.
So you're gonna win the Super Bowl?
I hope so. Jeremy Hill took the towel, tried to rip it up, and he was having a great day up to that point. And then he got hurt, but then when he came back into the game, he had like -3 yards.
It's impressive. After
that, and you lost the game. So just don't disrespect the towel. For those of you who don't know, the guy that invented this towel, he donated all the profits to a school for children with autism.
That's amazing, actually.
So every time you disrespect the towel, you are messing with children with autism, and that is just not a thing you want to do.
Which makes you
a jag-off.
See, full circle, comes full circle. I want Chris on the show way more. I'm gonna get to. I have for one. If people are wondering why Darren Rovell's ridiculous face is on our jerk side of the banner, so Darren, look, I have to always be very Darren, at the same time when I talk about Skip Bayless, they're both way more talented and famous than I am. I don't care about that. What I'm going to criticize Darren Rovell for is a guy who tweets for a living should know to not disrespect at any point a charitable organization like the Salvation Army. Ezekiel Elliot scored a touchdown yesterday, went off for 136-ish yards rushing, and my God, the second he breaks through that line of scrimmage in the open field, the man is a freak of nature.
He's scary.
His cutback block, his side steps and his cutbacks are devastating in the NFL. And those who say, and I was one who thought we have to kind of get a grounding of if he didn't have that line. Just give him space. If you give him any space in the open field, he can burn you with speed. He can cut back on you. He's easily the best running back this season, save for maybe David Johnson, who's more of a dual threat guy. he runs into the end zone and jumps into the Salvation Army bucket that happened to be in the back of the, by
That's
the
fun.
as a celebration. He's chilling there. So the Salvation Army uses it as a way to tweet for themselves and raise some more. Zeke made an important contribution for the Dallas Cowboys tonight. Can you contribute to the millions in need? I don't see anything wrong with that tweet.
Nothing wrong at all.
Nothing all. Darren Rovell did. Darren Rovell said, not subtle. Salvation Army using Elliot now to ask for your money. Well, they ask for money even outside the grocery store, so I don't think they need Ezekiel Elliott to do it.
Yeah.
Next, our goal is to serve the 58 million meals in the U.S. this year. There's no time to be subtle. Burn!
Damn.
So, first of all, props to Salvation Army because we all like making fun of Darren Rovell. Barstool Sports makes a living off of it, so does Deadspin, which is pretty amazing. But then there's another picture I think we have of Zeke Elliott. He's just chilling there. He's a happy guy. He scored a touchdown.
It's
There's
a great
big
moment.
bucket. It's a good moment.
Yeah.
And you know what's great about it, too? 61% increase in donations this morning.
Boom.
Because Zeke jumped in the bucket. Yeah. And Zeke said he was going to donate. He said they're not going to fine him, the NFL. So instead, I think he's taking the money that he might have been fined and donating it to the Salvation Army.
That's fantastic. I'm
All
actually
because
surprised the NFL's not finding him.
I'm surprised, too, because
Yeah.
the NFL would be like, you stepped on a piece of the property of the Cowboys Stadium that has to do with raising money for a good organization, so we need to take your money because you can't do that. And it's a celebration. But no. All their players, Greg Hardy, throw your girlfriend on a bunch of guns. It's fine. It's cool. It's the NFL's double standard.
It's true.
Turk of the week before we have to go. Aaron Rodgers might be the MVP. When the Packers were 4-6, I did a clip titled "The Packers Are Bad." Actually, an idea that I've wanted to do for every single week for the NFL season was to just pick one team and just if they win, title of the clip, Packers are good. And if they lose next, Packers are bad. Next week, the Packers are good. The same thing every week. I thought it'd be funny.
Yeah.
But at one point, the Packers weren't really bad. And I still state this. The Packers are still pretty bad. Aaron Rodgers.
No.
And the newfound rise of Ty Montgomery at running back. Ty Montgomery, Stanford wide receiver. Rarely do we see wide receivers become full-time running backs, ever. But Ty Montgomery ran for the most rushing yards on Sunday, I think up until that point. He had 162 rushing yards, which is more than Zeke. So he had the most rushing yards on Sunday. He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
But it gave, if you get a run game going for the Packers, like when Eddie Lacy was able to run, and you give Aaron Rodgers the freedom to make plays and really game plan himself, is there a better quarterback in the NFL? Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe Tom Brady, maybe. But when you talk about it in terms of just, here's why he could be the MVP. And I picked Derek or David Carr. It doesn't matter what his first name is. The Carr that's really good. It's Derek Carr. Derek Carr? Derek Carr. Like Ben, I get confused, all right? Like, come on. I mean, one's obviously a lot better, and we like Derek Carr a lot more. But just in general, just because the 5 game-winning touchdown passes on his hand in the fourth quarter overtime up to that point, with the Chiefs and Andy Reid, Are we surprised? I know you're giving me the rap. Are we surprised that Andy Reid botched it against the Titans? Are we surprised when the Chiefs are going to go into the playoffs and lose when they're down 12 points with 3 minutes left and not know they're down 12 points with 3 minutes? The Patriots, 14 points last year. Divisional game.
Yeah.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
They're down 14 points. He's like he's handing the ball off to people, and we're going like, does he know? Does he have any idea?
That's why he never makes it to the next
Andy
level.
Reid's like, it's the third. It's the fourth quarter. Yeah. All right. So obviously that's things aside. Aaron Rodgers with another miracle pass to Jordy Nelson. He ripped the Bears' hearts out in like a 30-second span, setting up the field goal, which gave him the win. Aaron Rodgers obviously able to pull off miraculous plays like that. He's done it more than anybody, man. I mean, the 2 Hail Marys last year, and just you watch him play. And look, there's going to be a toss-up for the MVP. It's the most wide-open race. You have so many guys, but you do. I think here's a crazy statement. I don't know if the Packers can win a football game without Aaron Rodgers. I think without him and any replaceable starter, they're like 2-14 on the season.
Probably, yeah.
And there's a chance that they're going to probably win the division after being 4-6.
Is
after the Lions
is he your pick for MVP?
No, I'm sticking with Derek Carr because I like Derek Carr, man. He plays with a broken thumb. How about them Raiders?
How about them?
How about them Raiders? I love Edwin over here. The Raiders hat every Monday. All right, we got to go. It was fun.